New class action case right here in Quebec, taking aim at the fees banks charge when homeowners pay off their mortgage early or break their mortgage contract before the term ends. Lawsuit argues that many consumers don't fully understand how those penalties are calculated, and those consumers are being abused in the process. Joey Zukran, class action attorney with LPC Avocats, is on the line. He specializes in consumers' rights. Joey, how you doing?
Very good. Thank you for having me on.
How big of an issue is this? How pervasive is this problem when someone wants to pay off a mortgage early or break that mortgage contract?
Well, it's a major problem, issue for anyone who, for actually any reason whatsoever, sells their home before the end of a fixed term mortgage, which is generally around 5 years, and has to pay what's called a mortgage prepayment penalty. So you can imagine there are a few reasons why somebody would want to sell their home early. It could be a divorce, a death, or buying, upgrading, downgrading, many reasons. And then what happens is that, and anybody who's gone through this, myself included, gets that letter of doom at the notary that says, oh, by the way, here's your payout statement. You owe the bank, I'm shooting out a number, $12,000 on account of mortgage prepayment penalty. And the problem, and what the case we've been fighting actually since 2018, was finally overturned. The dismissal was overturned by the Court of Appeal this Monday. What the gist of the case is that when the penalty is being calculated by the bank, they don't account for the discount that was initially provided, or the same discount that was initially provided at the time of borrowing. Allow me to explain.
Yeah, explain that, because I'm lost in the weeds there. What does that mean?
So let's say you just took a mortgage last week or last month, or you're shopping for a mortgage now, and you walk into your branch, and the branch will tell you, well, we have a rate of 3.5% to offer you. And you shop around, and you find out that 3.5 for a 5-year fixed term is great and competitive, and you take it. The bank will send you what's called the disclosure statement that accompanies that agreement. And what you'll find out in the fine print is that your real rate is not actually 3.5. It's more like 5.5 minus a 2% discount. So that's the discount. So they incorporate this discount at the time of loan. Now let's use your example of a 3.5% mortgage rate. And fast forward 2 years later, and the rates have actually gone up. Now they're issuing mortgages at 4.5%. So you cancel you want to, let's say upgrade your house, or you're got a job at ESPN in Orlando, so you want to leave, and you decide to sell your house, and you're saying, well, hold on, your rates have I'm paying 3.5, your rates are now 4.5. You're actually going to lend that money for 1% more. Why am I paying a $12,000 penalty?
Yeah.
And they're going to tell you, no, yes, Elias. It's true that we gave you 3.5 and that the rates are 4.5 today, but look at your contract. It's really, your real rate is 5.5, so actually you owe us 1%. And that's the summary in the simplest terms of the case, is that they play and manipulate this discount in order to artificially inflate their loss. We're not saying that the bank cannot be compensated for their economic loss, right? Mm-hmm. The bank could get something, but by playing with the discount in the manner I just described, they're consistently and systematically inflating their loss, thereby generating a profit from the situation.
Your lawsuit, is this for every single bank? I mean, and you can also get mortgages from non-banks as well. Is this pervasive across the industry, or are there certain bad players you're targeting?
So we filed a lawsuit against all of the big Canadian banks, Desjardins as well, National Bank, TD, Royal Bank, BMO, so all the big players you can imagine. About 7 or 8 of them, plus Desjardins. And CIBC was actually settled, and I believe I was on your show back then. CIBC actually settled the case a couple of years ago before it was ultimately dismissed the first time around. But then it's since been overturned, so they... to answer your question, it touches any of the major banks, not the virtual banks or those private lenders that you see online. It's really just the big 5 plus the other major players in Quebec.
Why do you think it has not been, you mentioned you got one settlement early, then it was dismissed, now you've had an appeal here. Why do you think it has not been as slam dunk as you put it?
It's a very technical case, and we actually, and I'll give him a shout out on this call, had to hire an actuarial expert named Jeremy Bell out of BC, who filed a really comprehensive report explaining this using, showing the Bank of Canada rates. You have to be able to prove that it's systemic and that these discounts are, that are being applied across the board, and that the bank is I would say actually cheating the consumer or the borrower across the board. And sometimes it's not very easy to explain. We had some issues with the case, and finally we were able to finally convince a bench of 3 judges that the case had merit and was worth moving forward. As to why the other banks didn't settle, I guess while they were winning, they thought it was not worth it to settle, but maybe now that the Court of Appeal has authorized it, they'll think otherwise.
Wrapping up here with Joey Zukran from LPC Avocats, talking about a class action case involving the big Canadian banks on mortgages. Joey, is this in the fine print? Like when you're getting that mortgage, is it actually there, but it's hidden? Like, because I'm thinking, okay, when I'm signing a mortgage, I'm going through all of these documents. Is it listed? Everything you mentioned about the discount and how they actually calculate things when you want to break that mortgage, is it there but hidden? What about those contracts? Because I imagine if it's there in that small print, that's a pretty good argument from the banks.
So it is there is some explanation and some calculations shown in the contract. It's what's interesting is and it's a couple of judgments that now say it. We're alleging that the actual contractual clause is abusive, and Quebec Civil Code at Section 1437 says that a contractual clause that's abusive, the obligations could be reduced or it could be even annulled. So which means a fortiori that the clause there has to be a clause in order to declare something abusive. So yes, there's a clause there. We're saying its application is abusive, which results in the systemic overcompensation to the banks. Okay,
and let's go through timeline here. It's already been a tough slog. So do you see a finish line in this case? Where is that finish line?
Well, now the heavy lifting starts. So it was authorized by the Court of Appeal on May 25th. The defendants have a certain delay. I believe it's 60 days to seek leave to appeal to the Supreme Court. If they don't, then the next step is that notices will be sent out to all of the concerned class members. So anyone who's paid a prepaid mortgage penalty for a fixed rate mortgage since 2015, May 2015, you would be automatically included in the class. And then after that, we file our originating application, and it's a case that could take years absent an early settlement.
If we've got a listener who's like, oh man, when I got dinged, I had to break my mortgage, they charged me $9,000 or $17,000, whatever it is. If someone is listening and they're like, oh my God, this applies to me. Do they do anything right now? Do they reach out to you? What do they do?
So if you believe you're a member of the class, there are no steps for you to take at this stage. You're automatically included. We do encourage you to sign up on our website, where you can put your email, and if ever there's any important updates, we'll communicate with you directly. So that email address, that website address is www.lpclex.com/mortgages.
Gotcha. Joey, thanks so much for coming on this morning and breaking this down. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Have a great morning.
Joey Zukran right there, class action attorney, specializes in consumer rights, and it's LPC Avocats if you want to look Joey up.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers. Powered by North by Northeast Music Festival. Taking place June 10th to 14th across Toronto. iHeart New Music. Stream now, online, on your smart speaker, and preset on the free iHeartRadio app.